It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders. Today I want to talk to you about a very important resource in the game, stamina jellies. Now, stamina jellies is something that a lot of people I see leave either just chilling, or they're stacking up for new events, or they're just not using because they aren't able to take the time. And I understand that schedules are very different for everybody, but I do want to stress the importance of why these can be so helpful. So, to kind of showcase where they're most useful, I'm going to go over to the dark mode in story. Now, if you see here, these sections like 918, 915, and some other places like that, they have epic soul stones. Now, legendary and ancient soul stones currently in the game are the only things you cannot farm through mission modes. However, epic and rare and common soul stones you can through the means of dark mode and some other ways. Now, if it's not your preference to do so, if you'd prefer to just grind out toppings or maybe save for specific events, that's fine. I'm not necessarily going to sway you from doing that. But I want to explain how it can be helpful to actually use these stamina jellies to push you further throughout the game. Now, I personally have been playing for a year. I have not always been 100% in game. Some days I've been more busy. Some days my work's gotten to me. Some days I've just had to spend a little bit more time with the family because they were sick or needed something. And so for those reasons, I couldn't be in the game at all times. So it's not that I have perfected the run, but because I have used the stamina jellies to farm out all these soul stones each day as best as I could, over a year's worth of time, that has gotten it to where I've been able to max out every single epic cookie except a few of the new ones and just a handful of a couple others, but I'm getting there. And so why that's important is a couple different reasons. One, if the meta changes drastically, and let's say for some reason Werewolf becomes the brand new meta tomorrow, and he's at a 1-star because you've never grinded out those soul stones for him, you're now completely behind anyone who has that cookie max starred out. Now, I'm not saying go grind all these soul stones in dark mode for the sake of just maxing because what if? That's not a good superstition to live by, but more so it helps you for that reason, at least if meta changes. Now, there is a more important reason why grinding the cookies soul stones out, and that's actually the bonds. So the bonds, each time you've maxed out cookies, you get specific bonds. So all cookies HP buffs, all cookies attack buffs, all cookies defense buffs. And I can tell you that I've gone through these and none of them have anything except HP, attack, and defense. But that's actually really important because consider this. Maybe you want to run a critical team. Maybe you want to run a defensive team. Maybe you want to run a debuff team. Well, the higher you have these bonds, the more easy it is to pull off those other teams because your base stats are going to be upgraded thanks to these bonds in the attack, HP, and defense side. So you don't have to put as much focus into HP, attack, and defense unless that's the type of team you're running. You still want to put focus in those things because it's still important so that your cookies can do well and survive in battles. But it gives you the option to be flexible for different team compositions and team building. And that's really nice. So this is only achievable here through maxing out this star fragments of specific cookies to each bond. And so I highly recommend, at the very least, grinding out those soul stones for that reason. If you're behind and you need better toppings, maybe pause on the soul stones and grind out the toppings instead. But regardless, use those jellies. If you need to save up for an event that you know is coming, that's fine. But you can save up at least 200 to 300 jellies within about a week's time if you know an event's coming. Anything more than that, you're kind of really mass hoarding, and you're losing a lot of value. Because if you think about this, it takes about, I think 10 minutes, is it? It's different for me because I have the research lab upgrades. I'm going to see if I can see how fast it goes. The jelly regeneration is apparently not going to be in there. It's going to be in cookies. Okay, so I have max number there, but the regeneration rate... No, I don't have a regeneration rate, so you're not even able to change the regeneration rate of stamina jellies. So that means that your best bet is having this landmark, which is going to give me 36 jellies in the next 18 minutes. Upgrading the fountain, which will give you jellies randomly as it goes throughout the day. Or completing event missions such as exploration innovation, where the jellies are a reward in there too. And then sometimes you'll get it from other sources and other events that are going on as well. So there's not necessarily a lot of places to get those jellies from. And that's why I think it's more important that it's a resource that is used instead of hoarded, because you're just leaving out value. I mean, you get stamina jellies for EXP trade-off in every single story and dark mode mission you do. You get topping pieces that you can grind out and build up. You get coins that you can use for research and different events and upgrades or promoting cookies. You get the soul stones so that you can max out cookies and try different compositions and different teams. So there's a lot of value that goes into using all of that. And the biggest reason I've personally done the cookie soul stones and I didn't grind out toppings for a year was A, I wasn't as competitive in the beginning because I really didn't understand the game, and then B, I really had the goal of just maxing out all the cookies, like both level and star fragments. It's just kind of pleasing for me to personally see because I'm, I guess, a completionist. So let's not talk about how upset I'm going to be about these special cookies for like the longest time until hopefully they offer it in a way to buy it. But regardless, but because I've done that, it's given me a chance to compete at similar levels to players that have better toppings, that have maybe better ancients and legendary levels. Because as you can see, I haven't even maxed all of those. And so I think that that's value that's being left off the table if you're not utilizing it. And it's not a lot at once. Like if you spend your 100 jellies a day, you're not going to instantly level up a cookie to level 60. You're not going to instantly max out their stars to level 5. It'll take about 2 weeks to a month to do so. I think between the gacha and the soul stones that I went through over a year's time, I think it took up until either late November or December for me to get most of these at this level. I think only just last month did I finally get to the point where I only have these 3 that were left over. And so I think that that's a lot of value that you guys could be using if you were using the stamina jellies all the time, as you can. Because if you have a busy life, you just can't. If you have a lot going on, it's understandable. That is kind of what the time jumpers are for, though. You can go find any soul stone battle, and let me show you. 29 jellies, and that's if you don't. That's if you do have the upgrade in the lab. If you don't, it would be 30. So 29 to 30 jellies for one run. That means you can do 3 battles a day. That takes 3 minutes, maybe 5 at max. And if you do the time jumpers, it doesn't even take that. So that's why it's something I definitely recommend. That way you can get the most value possible. And as you can see with the rewards, 9 level 3 jellies for EXP, 7,000 coins, more kingdom experience, which we now have a higher kingdom level we can get to, and topping pieces. And so all of that's going to be value for you in the long run, even if you don't see it right away. But let me know your feedback in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts of maybe why you choose to save the stamina jellies. Hope maybe there's something you've discovered that hoarding them all at once gets you better luck when it comes to like grinding for specific topping pieces. Maybe you only save them for burning events so that you can get the most value out of them during that specific time. Either way, I'd love to hear whatever you guys think, and thank you so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day.